the movements don't have to always be big. So there's times where you're blocking a guy and you're staying in position, and maybe you're not transitioning to a different position, but I'm constantly adjusting and moving. And the reason for this is it's like on the feet, you want that guy dealing with what you're doing as opposed to you reacting to him. This keeps you proactive, and that keeps that guy a step behind you whenever you're wrestling. So if he's constantly adjusting to you, you're always a step ahead, your chances of getting out go up. Another thing that you really want to do is staying compact. I'm a big proponent, and I'm a short guy, I've got little arms, all those things, so I stay really compact. But even long guys, you need to, elbows in, hips tight, legs in, legs together. When you get extended on bottom, that's where a lot of that like special stuff or crafty, long guy turns happen, where you just kind of end up on your back. You're not balanced, you're not explosive, you're not athletic, you can't really move, which again, you want to be moving, constantly adjusting on bottom. And kind of the last thing is the mindset or the mentality when you are training and when you're actually wrestling of no one can hold me down. And that's got to be drilled into your head, and that comes through repetition and practicing and drilling to gain the confidence. But your self-talk alone needs to be, this son of a bitch ain't holding me down. Ain't no way in 2 minutes he's holding me down, or I'm getting out of bounds, I'm starting over, and I'm getting off bottom. And it was that mindset when I was training that made me intense and ready to wrestle and get off bottom from really good top riders. Because I just knew, if I keep moving, I wrestle hard, I'm getting off bottom. No question. So that has to be a staple in how things go. So my best stuff going into the technique was from my butt. So I was a big wrestler on bottom. I didn't like getting my feet in the Big Ten because a lot of guys like lifting and returning, and they're really good at it. They're trained to do that. So I like getting my butt. You're more athletic from your butt on bottom, and there's a lot more things you can transition to from your butt when you're on bottom. So first thing is how to get there. You start with a good base. I took on my laces because I can adjust here. Guys can't grab ankles as good. I'm also flexible in my hips so I could stay real low. But you're a little bit more than shoulder width apart. Your elbows are in to start, and your hands are on the mat, your head's up. I'm low here. This guy on top starts kind of with whatever ride he wants. He can drive forward, he can try to chop, whatever. I can stay low here, and I can kind of adjust, and then it's one easy step to get to my butt, right? So whenever we get on our toes and we're kind of high up, he starts chopping or doing something, I really have to adjust, and then I end up in a position where I'm low anyways, right? So at the start of the whistle, or before the whistle starts, my first decision is to get in a low stance here, right? And so how I get to my butt and wrestle from there, the simplest way is just to push back into this guy. So if he's on top, he's on my left side, elbows are down, I'm gonna push my weight into him, and it's gonna bump him off. So whistle blows, I push into him here. So we started in the center, we moved off of the center because I'm pushing. We're not moving forward. A lot of your wrestlers, when you first do this, they're gonna wanna lift their knee and slide out. This gets me long, I'm not compact. My arm's out, I can get chopped, I can get sucked back, right? And there's no pressure on this guy. I want pressure from my butt. So again, I start low, I'm here, and I push back into this guy. And then back to one of our big components, I'm compact, right? My knees are in, I'm driving back in, my elbows are in tight. This hand's on the mat, but I'm not worried so much about getting chopped because I keep this elbow bent, and I'm fighting hands. But again, staying compact, driving back into my butt, getting to our base position. The other couple ways to get to your butt, the next one is the one I used all the time. It's a little bit more advanced, but this one kind of guarantees it as long as you move on the whistle, and it's called a changeover. And it's really good if the guy on top is on a side that you don't want to ride or wrestle from. So if he gets on the right side, and maybe I can only do things over here, it's good to train your changeover on this side. right? So I'm in a low base. I'm not very good at pushing back from here, so I'm going to change over. I start with my opposite hand going over my hand. So the same side hand goes over the opposite hand. As I do this, my outside leg comes up here. And once I'm here, I have to explode and turn my body through to that outside hip. So without a partner, I'm here, legs up, explode through, and I land on this opposite hip. I'm not on my butt, I'm not on the near hip, all the way over. When you're first starting to train this, it's a good idea to raise this hand up as you go. So hand over, knee up, and I go, hand comes up. The reason why is a lot of guys move their hand back when they do this, and it's going to get them chopped or pulled back down. So, again, opposite hand, knee up, explode, hand up. When you get, a good comfortable feel for it, explode, just keep this hand tight. It's the same thing, but again, when you're first drilling it, bringing this up is a good idea. Posting with this hand, anytime you post, again, elbows bent. But right here, I'm on my butt, right? And a lot of times, this guy's on top, he's on the side I don't want him to be on. I change over, now he's on the side I want him to be on. Now we're wrestling like I push back from the other. So, those are two options to get to your butt from bottom position. They're good in different situations. Like I said, if a guy's on the wrong side, changing him over is good. A lot of times I feel like if a guy's arm chopping me real hard or he's really looking to get his leg in, pushing back's good. If he's on top and I'm trying to change over and he's a leg rider, this is a good time for him to slip the leg up and in. So maybe that's where if I know he's a leg rider, that's when I'm going to push back and stay low, right? So they're good options for different situations. The last one is a knee slide. And I knee slide a little different than like a traditional knee slide to get to your butt or to get to a knee slide position. Just because my coach who taught me this, Pat McNamara, he was really big on leg riding. This, again, helps keep out the legs. And this is really good for your not super athletic guys or longer guys who are kind of, I wouldn't say uncoordinated, but not super explosive or super strong. This keeps you in a good position to where you don't get knocked off your base. So the last way to get to your butt, this guy's on top. I'm going to knee slide into this guy. So it's kind of the same motion as your changeover. This inside knee comes up, but instead of crossing my hands over, this hand's going to come to my hip, and this opposite knee is going to slide through here. And I get to my butt. If you can rest on that ankle, that's fine. I really don't want to be on my toe. But again, guys on the same side, here, elbow comes into my hip, outside knee comes up, or inside knee comes up, and I slide through, here gets my butt. Now here, again, elbows bent, this foot's out in front, and I'm pushing back into it, okay? This elbow's tight, and I'm kind of at an angle here. I'm on my butt on this side. That, or I'm on my ankle. And the reason why I'm at this angle is if he tries to take me in any direction, I have an answer for it. So if he tries to push forward, I can let him push me up to my feet. If he tries to take me, arm chop this side, that's fine, I can get to my butt. If he tries to take me the other direction for an arm chop or whatever, this leg's blocking. That's why the angle's there. And if he tries to suck me back, I'm already on my butt, I can just move backwards. So again, that's a really safe position to get your wrestler to, especially if maybe they're a little longer, they're not the most athletic guy. They have a lot of options to keep them based out. Where the other ones, you have to be a little bit more coordinated and athletic to get to. Low center of gravity and all that. So again, those are the three ways I used to use to get to my butt. And again, I like the butt position, because I'm going to show in a minute. I have so many more options as opposed to standing up, and I don't think you have to be as extremely explosive to get there. So 3 in a row, just real quick to go over it. Pushing back in, staying tight, good position. He's on top. I change over here. Again, once I get here, this is kind of like a knee slide position. Here, if it pushes forward, goes right, goes left, I have a counter. And then it doesn't matter which side. Third one. Inside knee up, elbow tight, slide out to my butt.